Do you see the problem with this? How about now? Hey there. The number one problem when project carring is after the enthusiasm has worn away and all you're left with is a pile of awkwardly stacked parts in and on your project car, or in this case, a project truck. And this leads to the number one reason why project cars don't get finished. Loss of motivation. You go out to the garage, or in my case, patio, and you see this huge pile of parts and you get overwhelmed and walk away. Or it takes a whole hour to set everything up and get to work, and another hour to then pile it all back up in a sort of organized manner and put all the tools away, and you only got like 3 hours set aside in your schedule to do work on your project car. And it's a lot easier when you do that, when that happens, just to come out and look at it. So why bother? Let me illustrate the point for you. We are getting close, the cab of Jimmy here, to go ahead and do the final cleanup and prep to paint. You know, we got to take care of the surface rust and everything. And the last repair job we need to do is this split in the back of the cab, where when they were lowering it, they made a clearance for the drive shaft. Okay, when they lowered this chassis, the drive shaft was hitting on this bar here, which is the emergency brake evener bar? I don't know. Emergency brake pulls on it, rotates it, and then pulls the cables for the emergency brakes. And then the drive shaft was hitting on this frame cross member. So they welded in this big piece of pipe. That's exactly what it is pipe. And not a bad job. I mean, it's alright. And they had to clearance the bottom of the cab in order to do it, which has resulted in it splitting right along the seam here. But to get to it, to fix it, means clearing all of this off, getting this out of the way. Why? Oh God! Why? Screw this, I'm gonna go watch YouTube. Well, you see, the answer is really quite easy. We made the number one mistake everyone makes, and way underestimated how much time this project was going to take. And you couple that with the second mistake everyone makes, scope creep. We kept digging into it and seeing more stuff that we felt, wow, we've gone this far. Let's go that little bit further and make it that much better. And that's how you end up with the car completely apart and scattered across the yard and throughout the workshop and the garage, and yeah. And of course, add to that the third mistake that everybody makes. And that is bringing home something else, grabs your attention and pulls you away from what you should be spending your time on, and money, and effort, and brain power, and all the resources that you can possibly throw at a project vehicle. And that's how you end up where a project that was only going to be a 6-week project is now going into its 6th month. Unless you forget, this is like our 13th or 17th project vehicle that we've resurrected here at the ranch. You'd think we know what we're doing by now. And originally, everything here was piled in a different part of the yard where we were working on it. What little protection that we had over there was repurposed for other things. all this stuff needed to be moved somewhere where it could be kept off the ground, so the moisture in the ground wouldn't cause further rot and decay, and we needed to be covered with something, sort of, maybe. What passes for winter where we live has arrived. So we needed to move this to someplace, preferably off the ground, so the moisture in the ground doesn't attack the bare metal and cause us to have to make additional repairs and changes to it while we wait until we do final prep to paint it. So it made sense at the time to go ahead and put it here on the back of the truck where it was generally out of the way, and we threw the tarp on it to provide some cover, though wind, but now it's in the way of making progress. And space, no matter how much you might have or lack thereof, is always going to be an issue with this hobby. As a wise man once told me, stuff will always occupy the space provided, or you're just going to keep dragging home more crap until you run out of space. And so that's the point. How often do we do something in the moment that makes a lot of sense, but down the road sabotages us and creates another barrier that makes it really easy to just throw our hands up and say, screw it. One lesson, of course, is if you have the foresight, which would be nice, you can avoid those traps and prevent yourself from falling into them. For the rest of us, the real lesson I want to impart on you is, if you want to be successful with your project car, you need to muscle through these traps. You need to persevere and push through and figure out a way to make it easy to go out and spend whatever little free time you have, an hour here, an hour there, 3 hours on the weekend, whatever it is, to put the time in, to put the work into your project car. Whether you're just completing a simple project on it, or you're going down the rabbit hole like we have. Put the time in. It's the only way you're going to get it done, and that's what we do here at the ranch. We just keep picking at it, and picking at it. Before long, you got a running, driving car. So I got my C10 done, which was actually a much bigger project than old Jimmy here. And that's how we get all of our stuff done. And that's what you need to do too. If you enjoy what we're doing here at the Pit Stop Ranch and you want to support us, please hit the like. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. And once you're all done with all of that and you watch our complete library, go out to this shop, go out to the garage, go out to your back patio, and put some time in on your own project. Till next time, cheers.